Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. This is the show where I do quick reviews for the movies that I watch, give them a score out of 10, and then add them to my list. So let's see what movie I'm reviewing today. On May 8th I watched Pom Poko, which came out in 1994. And this was yet another beautifully animated film from Studio Ghibli. But even just reading the description of this one had me worried it might be a bit too out there for me. It reads, a community of magical, shape-shifting raccoon dogs struggle to protect their home from being destroyed by urban development. That's a lot to process, and maybe if it had focused less on the magical shape-shifting raccoon dog part, and more on the environmental aspect of these animals trying to protect their homes from urban development, it could have been a bit more serious, and everyone wouldn't be stuck focusing on the one distracting aspect of it all. Instead, what we got was a much more playful and fun movie. And while it might have been better for the young ones, it was far less substantial and satisfying for the adults than something like Princess Mononoke. The real shocker here is that distracting bit I mentioned earlier, and it absolutely deserves mentioning for anyone that hasn't or might never see this one. That the way these magical raccoon dogs pull off their transformations seems to be entirely due to their extra magical nutsacks. Seriously, I've definitely never seen this many testicles animated in a kids movie before, and that's probably a good thing, because there were way too many here to even begin to count. And I'm not just being a perv either, since they were clearly animated to distinguish the males from females. And on more than one occasion, it's all too clear that they're being used to transform themselves, as their nutsacks grow to a ridiculous size before they suddenly go poof into whatever form they've chosen. Thankfully, these benevolent, magical raccoon dogs use their powers for mostly good, trying to chase, haunt, or otherwise stop the humans from destroying their homes. The sad and strangely out-of-place solution for this, in the end, is for the best shapeshifters to give up and try to become full-time humans. There at least seems to be a pseudo-religion of respect for nature built around the fear generated through the hauntings, so I guess that's a happy ending, right? The other disappointing part of this one is the general lack of voiceover talent, since everyone from Christian Bale to Patrick Stewart has lent their voices to these movies in the past, so it's underwhelming to have Jonathan Taylor Thomas, along with J.K. Simmons and Kevin Michael Richardson as the only recognizable voices. J.K. Simmons felt especially wasted here, since I know how much I've enjoyed his performances in other things, so I can only blame the lack of material to work with. His voice is perfectly suited for cartoon characters, but he needed more talent, particularly in the leading roles, to play off of, for the voice work to ever measure up to those other greats from Studio Ghibli. The best way to describe this one is as a much more lighthearted PG instead of PG-13 version of Princess Mononoke, with that same environmentalist center to it all, told around a very fun and family-friendly group of magical raccoon dogs with extra magical scrotums. Always mention the scrotums. Definitely not the best Ghibli film I've seen, but not the worst either. The only thing I would want to change if I could would be to bring in more big-name talent for the voices, and maybe not include the magical nutsacks. I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 10, and it landed at number 1090 on my list, putting it right here, in between It Could Happen to You and The Majestic. And as always, thanks for watching. Hey everyone, thanks for watching another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. Be sure to click like and subscribe for new videos every week. And if you have a movie that you really want me to watch, be sure to drop me a comment.